Hello, my name is Oleksandr Zalugovskiy and I'm a project manager with PortaOne. In this video, I'm going to continue my discussion on redundancy and high availability in PortaSwitch, and this time we are going to focus on geo-redundancy. If you would like to watch the first part of this discussion, you can find the link in the video description. So to start, what is geo-redundancy in PortaSwitch? Geo-redundancy introduces an extra degree of reliability within the network and its applications, so that service is not interrupted. With geo-redundancy, even if some network components are not functioning, you can still organize the servers into sites. In the last video, I explained high availability systems. Geo-redundant PortaSwitch provides that high availability so that services are uninterrupted even in the case of an outage in your main server location or main data center, which we refer to as your main site. In a geo-redundant configuration, you have one or more secondary sites, and each one is fully redundant, meaning it hosts PortaSIP, billing instances, and database servers, and so can operate in standalone mode. In my previous video, we covered per-server redundancy, which is when there are two physical servers and each is running a copy of an application, such as PortaSIP for example. Per-server redundancy protects your service when a single server fails, for example due to a hardware fault. However, even when you have this type of redundancy, there is another class of catastrophic events that can cause unavailability of all servers installed in the same location, including your hosting center and so on. Such events include natural disasters, power outages at the colocation provider, or network routing errors. When one of these types of events happen, the only way to provide uninterrupted service is to have another set of servers in a different location. In other words, to have geo-redundancy. When you have geo-redundancy, you can continue operating even when there has been a complete outage at the main site. To make sure this type of system functions at its best, it's important that the secondary site not only activates and begins providing service as soon as possible, but also that it automatically synchronizes any changes with the main site later on. And by changes, I mean updates to balances, XDRs, and things like that. All of this is available with the PortaSwitch geo-redundancy solution. This solution provides three key benefits to service providers. First, it allows you to protect your company against data center outages. Second, it allows you to provide service to multiple geographic regions, even if the network connectivity to a specific region is lost. For example, let's say an issue with undersea fiber causes your customers in South Africa to lose access to a data center in London. With the geo-redundancy solution, they can still access the data center in Singapore and their service will be uninterrupted. And finally, site redundancy allows you to perform updates to new software versions with zero downtime. This last point is an essential benefit to the deployment of PortaSwitch across multiple sites. Of course, we all naturally hope that a hosting facility outage will never happen. But even if it never does, you can still be certain that sooner or later you will need to perform a software update. For more details regarding the deployment of PortaSwitch across multiple sites and on performing zero downtime updates, you can see the links in the description of this video. Now, let's look at database usage in geo-redundant PortaSwitch. Just like I described in the previous video, we have two options. The first is the MySQL option, in which your secondary site will have a standby database deployed. And the second option, once again, is Oracle Real Application Cluster, or RAC. But this time there is a difference. Classic Oracle RAC implementation is primarily designed for data centers that reside in a single location. So for a geo-redundant system, you need a slightly different approach. The first one you can consider is the extended distance Oracle RAC approach. This allows the placement of individual RAC nodes in separate buildings. It supports a deployment scenario in which database servers reside in physically separated locations yet continue to function if one location fails. This requires fully redundant architecture, using two storage area networks with a double set of switches and so on. While this option is possible, The downside is that it would also be quite expensive. In our opinion, the better option for Oracle RAC in geo-redundant system is Oracle Data Guard. This is a solution from Oracle that creates and maintains database replicas and standby databases. Basically, we are talking about an extra Oracle database node to replicate the data from your primary storage area network. This solution is both cheaper and more effective, and that's why we suggest it to our PortaOne customers. To conclude our discussion on backup systems, let's take a moment to look at the strengths of PortaOne and what you need to know about what we offer in terms of system redundancy and high availability. Our key strength for communication service providers is the flexibility of our solutions. This means that we offer solutions that can be tailored to both growing business that needs to optimize their investments into redundancy and still have the ability to improve the architecture at any time in the future, and also Tier 1 mobile operators who require top-notch solutions in terms of both redundancy and high availability. And even if you only certainly currently need a testbed or staging system, and you aren't yet at the point where you need to invest anything in redundancy, we can also offer efficient solutions that avoid those costs as well. Now, some of our customers have asked us about the PortaOne integration platform as a service solution that is based on Boomi, and whether this solution provides any kind of redundancy or high availability. Well, the quick answer is yes. If there is a Boomi data center in your region, you don't need to worry about redundancy or high availability. In this case, we simply deploy everything in the Boomi cloud and you are ready to go. That's because Boomi maintains and runs their clouds in the Americas, Europe, and the Asia-Pacific region. So geo-redundancy is built right in. You can find more details about Boomi Cloud using the link in the description of this video. Now let's imagine that there is no Boomi data center in your region. In this case, for a production system, it is possible to deploy private cloud in your data center close to the servers with PortaSwitch, but on dedicated infrastructure. However, keep in mind that you will need to invest in a set of dedicated servers as well as dedicated network-attached storage. In the case of a testbed or staging system, you have two choices. You can either use private cloud, just like with the production option. This means using the same infrastructure for both production and testbed systems. Or you can even use a dedicated container deployed in the PortaSwitch Docker Swarm. We only recommend that option for staging systems, as production systems could face possible performance issues as well as a lack of redundancy and high availability. To summarize all of this, you can see that there are some cases in which high availability and even redundancy would be excessive given the cost, and so you can forego that need, at least in the early stages of your business. As you grow and your needs change, you can improve your deployment. For example, if your expected load over the upcoming year or two fits well into performance capabilities of Boomi Cloud, then it will be more optimal to start with Boomi Cloud, where infrastructure, high availability, and disaster recovery are covered by Boomi, even if it involves a different region and so introduces some network latency. It will allow you as a service provider to focus on growing your business. Then, as your business and load grows, you can conduct annual performance reviews, involving PortaOne staff if needed, and when the time comes, you can move to a private cloud where you will have full control of your performance and network security. All of this to say, the setup that works best for you will be specific to you, and that is what makes the architectural flexibility of PortaOne solutions so valuable. Whatever your needs are, now and in the future, we can offer a custom solution that will perfectly suit your budget and your operations, as well as your specific requirements for redundancy and high availability. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this information useful. If you would like to learn more about our options for redundancy and high availability, you can use the contact info in the description to get in touch with our team. And if you would like to see more tips and information about running a competitive and profitable communications service, hit the subscribe button to catch all of our future videos.